Hello, welcome to my tube, my tiny little tube. My name is Marge. I am a whole cow empath, and I just like to have these little talks on the way I feel about things. Sorry, Tuck. So, Mom, keep it down. I'm sleepy, Mom. I'm sleepy, Mom. I'm a little Tucker. He's tuckered out. He's about to be more tuckered out. Luna back there, checking in. What up, Luna? She must have a Luna tickle. Get it, Mom? Luna tickle? Because she was scratching? Mom, I think Mom's mad at me. Got Ben over here. Benny? Hi, Benny. He said, hi, Marge. How are you doing? You're doing the talk now. Margie Benny will be right on your 6, Margie, to do the talk with Margie and Benny and Tata. We got Artie Pants right here. Ooh, big yawn, Benny. Got the shifted juice. So good news, the big BRT, the big red truck, could potentially be home tomorrow, back tomorrow. And then I'll call the movers and then say whenever you can come, because it's scheduled I think the 12th or 13th for them to come. And then if I get the BRT, I'll just call them tomorrow and say come anytime. And then they'll come load up the little belongings that we have, and I'll load up all the dogs and the cat and Mom and the BRT, and we'll head east to the next chapter, however that unfolds. So it's kind of interesting. So it came down to the computer. See, it's a 95. I have a 95. I can't remember. I don't know. And making models and manufacturers, they started at different times, but when they came out, the computer and the car is like where freaking shit went sour, as far as I'm concerned. When they started putting computers in cars, that's when they're like, we're fucked, we're screwed, because they're just, these parts are so fallible, and they're not made to last, and and fast forward 25 years, now they want to put chips in people. And people will do it because people are freaking stupid and they want to be controlled. They do. Just tell me where to go and where I need to go and when I need to be there, and I'll be in la 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 la. It's lame that people will be so willing to be controlled. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. I mean, being an American and knowing the freedoms and all the freaking people that have died in the name of freedom, and these military conflicts in the name of freedom and democracy when, well, we don't have it now. We don't have it now. We don't have it now when people are freaking... Dude, this last election, I feel like I was in high school. It feels like high school, only their budget was way, way, way bigger. Stuffing envelopes and freaking finding ballots in creeks and it's just whatever. When you have people that have just done whatever they wanted, like their whole entire life, 70 years, they don't have any self-control. They don't have restraint. A lot of them are drunks. A lot of them are total freaking alcoholics, and their brains are just mush, and they're just sustaining on the calories that they get from the alcohol, But there's no spirit. There's no spirit, because spirit is like the JC frequency that wants enough for everybody, There's enough for plenty of people to go around. Not of this stingy stuff we've been living for years and years. And I was part of it too, but I won't live that way again. I won't live that way again. When I get to a place that I am stable, 49% of what people contribute to me and what I earn, I will keep for myself and for my mom and my dogs, and to keep us good, comfortable. But we don't need much. We're minimalists. There's so many people that need so much more, and they're still not happy. They're still not content. And their overhead is way higher because they don't got no spirit. They don't know how to live in the present moment and appreciate, life for what it truly is, and these human connections, having connections with human in a spiritual fashion, and creating heaven on earth is what we're supposed to be doing. I don't know what other people think. Their ideas and stuff got out of control because they got all crazy with power. And so BRT, I was thinking about it Man, what you looking on the pillow for? That's a little different. I got this from a Walmart in Wichita Falls, Texas, when I was in tech school. I've had it for a long time. It has animals on it, and all the animals like it. So it's one of the few things that I've kept from my life before. We have very little stuff. But with the computer, I was talking to Howard. No, I want to make sure it's Flagstaff mechanic, because I told him I forever talk. Let me just. He's owned it, I think, like 20, 25 years. Flagstaff Auto Repair. Show list. I think it's Flagstaff Auto Repair. $91.59. Yep, Flagstaff Auto Repair. And he went in yesterday and he worked on it. Howard did. He's like, now it's starting to piss me off, because when see, that's how I think. That's like, well, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but for me, and being a mechanic, because I'm a mechanic myself. I was a mechanic in the Air Force. I'm trained in all sorts of freaking systems, pneumatic, hydraulic systems. All, our tech school is like 6 months long, so I can read a schematic. I got all these like really cool abilities that will benefit me, I think, in the new world. Anyway, so I'm a mechanic. I just don't have the strength and the freaking right tools and stuff to do stuff I want to do. So Howard gets to do it anyway. So I've been troubleshooting this with him, and well, he's there with it, and I'm just like going through it in my head. And every system I thought it was, and what we determined, it's the computer. It's the computer that's it's throwing off weird signals. And that's the thing. It's like people rely so much on technology. Technology is easily manipulated. It is so easy to manipulate. Technology is. You can freaking ruin it with a magnet too. So could you imagine putting a computer chip in your freaking brain and then someone coming up to you with like a large freaking magnet and just re. You're like, what? Peeing yourself and stuff like that. You don't want to give nobody no reason to means to control you. It is so weird the way that things are headed. Freaking if the muskrat who's littering the sky with his satellites and littering the earth with his tunnels, if he's so excited about his little remote to control pig with putting the chip in the pig, it's been done, dude. It's been done. You ain't the first. You're just trying to continue the lineage or storyline in which you got a weird impression, but that there is nothing to do with that and freedom. And see, people don't need to make themselves we only live this life for maybe 100 years if you're lucky. Maybe. And so it's like, why, people put this stuff, but you're going to do the stuff that's going to cure the karma. It's just weird. But people are coming into the spiritual stuff that everything is woo-woo. I'm really freaking over people saying, dude, stuff, it's woo-woo. I'm like, dude, everything's woo-woo. We get evil, negative attachments. That drives people to do freaking crazy and insane things, because they won't take the opportunity to have a God or a faith, a higher power that's good. Don't hurt people, because so many people are hurt that they just go around hurting other people, and it's really quite trite, and I'm really over it. So everybody just like living in their house and in inclusion and in their little pods. Some people are figuring out that we need other people. We need community. We need human connection. We need touch. We need to love on each other. We need to, not live in fear, because when people live in fear, they get sick. They get sick when you're scared all the time. Stress, it freaking eats your body from the inside. I don't care how much you can meditate. I don't care how, you can only pray so much, but sometimes life just gives situations. It's like, no matter how you look at it, it's just like, man, this is hard and it sucks. I know you'll help me get through it, but right now it's just hard and it sucks. So when we were talking about the computer for the BRT, see, it's the 95, and they had a year in the 94. They changed. See, they always upgrade stuff. When they say upgrade is that what that really means is they're gonna take some feature away that people really liked and give you less and then charge you more. So, because they got to make money, and they're freaking insane. Their ideologies and logic. There isn't any in corporate America. They're just all go by data, and data is freaking manipulable, malleable too. You know, pay people; they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. If you pay people enough, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. They know what you want to hear. When I was in the Air Force, the freaking military, higher up, they were really out of touch because they're too busy flying around freaking playing golf all over the country with their fucking bro club boys, and then calling them training exercises, and then writing it off for the tax club. We all pay for it. We pay for all of that stuff. But the thing is in maintenance, we couldn't even get freaking oil filters and shit like that. We couldn't even get our basic needs. We were like the freaking stepchildren of the flight line. But the cops, they always got freaking new cars all the time, and new gear, and new this, and new that. And they're the freaking second lowest testing scores in the military. Yeah, because you want a bunch of dumb guys that you just, do what you're told. They don't think for themselves. You just feed that ego, feed that ego, feed that ego. Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the dorm that I lived in Offutt, freaking, it was nice, and it's also like that's a business within itself because it's just like hotels on base. And then so look who gets all the people with the furniture and the crappy freaking bedspreads and shit. They all get to make their mint because somebody has a cousin that sells that shit, or those stupid floral print pictures on the wall because they're in every room. And then so the dorm that we got to maintenance moved into. It was the police dorm, but it was a weekend cop got freaking drunk, freaking, I don't know, fell asleep with a candle or some stupid shit and burnt the dorm down. So got all renovated, probably at the cost of freaking 4 times of what it should cost because they inflate everything. And so I got to live in the dorms there, right by the Class 6 is what they called the liquor store. So anyway, in 94, the computer for that truck, it would send you an error code. But the year that my BRT, it doesn't. It'll just throw everything. That was what they dropped that year. Is the error code. that there's an issue with the computer. Yeah, that's what they dropped that year. Anyway, and freaking engineers and designers, man. I tell you what, it's who their higher purpose is serving. So it got me thinking. And you can't buy like go down to Dodge and buy a computer for a 1995 Dodge Ram 15. No, you gotta. They have businesses that rebuild the old ones, or it's all refurbished parts, pretty much, kind of thing. And so it's kind of a crapshoot. It was funny. The guy and I were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, they're just kind of iffy, and I was just like, "Everything is with me. Everything's iffy." He said, "If I ever write a book, where did I put my notepad? I made notes. I mention this sometimes. That's what I told Howard when he was like, well, they're iffy. He's like, but they're not as bad as Jeeps. I'm like, I hate Jeeps, man. I hate Jeeps. Those big, stupid Jeeps. I looked up Jeeps, the olive drab green. This was like back in 2016, 17. I looked it up just for gee whiz, because I'm like, I know some freaking meatheads are all nostalgic because he watched freaking MASH with his grandpa, so now, he has so much stupid money to freaking piss away that he wants olive drab green on his new Ram Cron or whatever stupid renegade models they have. I just don't like Jeeps. and 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 it was like $5,000 extra above MSRP, whatever. Like for like, cause you could go to any and like pick all the bells and whistles that you want. And that's so funny to me, because like for me, a vehicle, I don't care what it looks like, because I know it just represents freedom to me. And then so when I see, so I could see when people like really appreciate their freedom, but some people just, they love their cars more than the freedom than it represents. It's weird. That's an ego thing to me. So if I ever wrote a book, I'd call it a series of best worst case scenarios. Because it's always seconds. Because I always get the, the truck model that has that one discrepancy in it, But it works out. It works out. So it's on order, and it'll be here tomorrow, and we should be on the road again, and a lot of work to be done the next few days, but it's not like driving 23 hours. It's less than what we did, and it'll be all right. What else? Oh, it made me think of supply chain, because I've always been in supply chain. See, I'm a very pragmatic person. I've lived my whole life deliberately. I went into the Air Force and the career field. Well, actually, the first career field that I chose, I was supposed to be a pole climber. I was supposed to be a telephone pole climber. I was supposed to be one of the. That's one of the first people, like after like the ground crew goes in and freaking clears, like kills everybody, civilian or otherwise. Then they take that area of their own, and they set up their own command posts and stuff. Well, I would be the one that would go up the pole to put in the infrastructure. Well, that makes me target practice. So maybe it was a blessing that day when I went to MEPS and my period had started and I was 3 pounds over. And they said, nope, come back. And I was like, no. But I ended up as an age ranger. An age ranger. What are some of their catchphrases? Danger is no stranger to an age ranger. So you deal with a lot of electricity and hertz and voltage and ohms and all that kind of stuff, and you got to set this and regulate this, and so I know a lot about hertz and what hurts, and I don't know why. I mean, some days like when I remember when LTE came to town, it went from 3G to LTE, to 4G, and now they're trying to do 5G. See, because I worked at Creighton University, and it was just, it's all bells and whistles. It's all a pony show. It's all trying to sell this and sell that and speed this and speed that, and none of it works. None of it works. You might start seeing, but you're kind of, because we disrupt frequency in technology. And until they start releasing the freaking, what do you call it? Technology where humans are cooperating with it without having it in you. But electricity is it can be malleable to human beings. Because I'm a slider. Like, I can't rant text. I can't get mad. Because if I flip out computers and technology and stuff like that, I always got to keep it down here, or my message ain't going to get through. And so I got to spend a lot of effort staying grounded and being grounded and stuff like that. Holding out for a hero came on in my ear right now. Anyway, so supply chain, another thing, people are really going to figure this stuff out. When you're going to start going and like getting stuff that you want to get, and it just ain't there, people are really gonna, it's gonna be about who you know and how you've been to them, and it's gonna be like this for everybody, because the astrology is only gonna level the playing field for more and more people. So, well, when I went into the Air Force and I specifically picked the job that I could, so I could learn as much as I possibly can, get as much training and as much different stuff as I possibly can, and then because I always had insight as into what the future could potentially hold and not hold because of people's egos where they sit. And people aren't getting less egoic, because if people are getting less egoic, we'd be having more heaven on earth. But it's just the rich keep getting richer. It's still, this story has been going on since I was born, and then long before it's just, the rich keep getting richer, and it's just, and it ain't right. So more and more people are going to come into more, they're going to have more experiences that you never thought you'd have in life. You're going to start experiencing things that you never thought you would. And a lot of that, people have to start thinking about, like where they live based on water needs and stuff like that. Because we know that the government doesn't going to do anything to freaking make sure that everyone's okay. So people are going to have to make sure you're okay in your own community. So a lot of people are going to be changing their tune here pretty quick. So fast. It's coming up real fast. People are going to either go more into their ego, or they're going to go more into their heart. Everybody does it when you get older. And now that hundreds of people are dying, thousands of people, But hey, good news is nobody's getting the flu. That's good news, right? That nobody's dying of the flu. People aren't getting the flu, like, at all. It's just everybody is getting anyway. It's amazing to me what the bullshit that people buy into. It's amazing how much, like, people just hook, line, sinker. You give them a narrative, and because they see it on a TV, or they hear it by somebody wearing a suit or dressed a certain kind of way, that to them that bodes reality. But there's nothing real about the person speaking on the screen. Heck, they're going to start probably, I don't know, everybody has their storylines, clones, the whole clone storyline, I've heard that one since I was a little kid. Heck, there was a time Mom thought that my brother and I were actors, and that her actual kids were taken. Things like that. So I know the clone, humans are terribly unimaginative. They just keep reinventing the same storylines over and over, and it's only a matter of time before people, kids that listen to the Foo Fighters look up what a Foo Fighter actually is, Doesn't matter if it's aliens, ant farms, we're just an alien ant farm, or, aliens or angels or whatever, it's what we conceptualize reality to be. I was listening to Marge astrology before I started my talk, and she was talking about removing the Arconian spiders. I'm like, that's a bad movie in the 1980s. It's called Runaway with Tom Selleck. And I know that freaking, you get lower vibrational freaking things attached to you, and they come out in physical ailments. Just like a broken tape that somebody put in your head, that it ain't in line with you, but it tells you you're dumb, or you're stupid, or you're ugly, or you're worthless, or anything that doesn't serve your higher purpose. That's demonic, because that ain't no Jesus Christ frequency. Jesus Christ doesn't want people to be sad. He wants people to be happy. And it ain't fair that happiness is a personal choice, and you don't need money. You don't need, actually, I don't know. I think money is provides security. But if everybody just had their own dwelling, their own place to be, they could just walk into a building and claim it to be there. I'm like, oh, okay, nobody else is here. I'm going to live here now. Without banks making their billions, and the freaking real estate agent making their cut, and all these people that don't really do shit making their cut. Be a lot, and I'm really tired of that here. Well, a lot of mental illness and dude, I know those are the people that I know how to get. Those are the people that you're gonna have to lift up and help raise in their frequency to help them, because it's a full spectrum. So if you raise up the bottom, it makes it closer to the top. So we're gonna see how what these real spirit, it drives me crazy to see even the people that I like the Astrology Hub and stuff like that, and then they have their, because they got to make their money too, freaking got to pay for that freaking house in Hawaii on the island or whatever. It's like, dude, my fucking overhead ain't as high as these other people, but they have these like little pockets of inclusion. So spirituality, I'm for the poor people. I'm spiritual for the poor people. For people who can't pay the freaking hundreds of dollars or whatever it is that they want to go in there to listen to their words, when all it is ego versus spirit. That's what everything comes down to. Is that people are living more from ego or more from spirit. Some days I gotta freaking ask myself, where am I living from? Yeah. Artie's such a good boy. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. It's just, I got good dogs. I got good doggies. So, what else was I going to talk about? Supply chain. So people are going to have to start thinking about, getting parts to fix your cars and stuff like. And not only that, but like washer and dryers and stuff like that. So it's going to be behoove people to like, I don't. And a lot of these are, are a lot easier to fix, but then the rich can't get richer if you do that. So, whatever community I live in, I just want to help make it better by offering my services to like at least help troubleshoot, stuff. So, I was listening to one astrology talk. I think it was Lady Kovna or whatever her channel is. She has a bunch of different people, and she had somebody on there, and they're talking about how the year of like, that's stupid. It's the year of that's stupid. And I'm like, I've been saying that's stupid in every situation I've worked in my whole entire life, because I always see the freaking how the ill efficiency of things. I see the lack of efficiency in things. I see how things can be done better. I just get frustrated because I can't always do stuff how I wanted to do because I don't have the proper tools or the resources or whatever. And then so if I can't do it how I want to do, then sometimes I just won't do it. I just won't try as hard, because I'm going to come up short anyway. So I was thinking about that, a while back when I had my house in Omaha. I used to scrub and like clean that like on Saturdays. That's how I spent my Saturdays. I would freaking move all the furniture and do all the floors and and then it's just like, it was almost, I started figuring out that if I wasn't careful, that I could end up one of those, because I could see my behaviors headed toward that, like ended up one of those OCD people where I have like I always like my shirts are all the same, my pants are all the same, and there's evenly spaced and all that stuff. But what I found is like I had to relinquish control. Like I had to not clean my house, sterilize it like that, like every week, and just do a little bit every few days, because I didn't want to become obsessive, because I knew where I was heading. And then all that stuff to me, it just tells me that I'm scared, that when I have to control all the situations around me, that lets me know that I'm not relying on a higher power. And so back in 16, when I got the water filtered, my pituitary gland cracked open and came into the, okay, I'm a spirit. Let's live my life as a spirit, because I lived my life as a human and it wasn't really working out for me. So when I really started doing all that and start the scene and everything really started coming to me, I said, all right, here we go. And I just have been following my heart ever since. And it's like, almost has me going back full circle, but not quite. But other things that people need to, because people, I'm wondering, I think about how many people haven't considered what it's going to be like. What are you going to do if you can't get water? If like, they determine the water undrinkable, or what's your side plan? That's why I want to live in a community that's smaller, where there's streams and creeks and stuff like that. you know, because I can make acquaintances on a smaller level. I mean, I can on a large level too, but people are so fearful in big cities and stuff. Things are gonna get hard to get, man. And I think that because it used to drive me, you could tell when it was tax season because I could always see. Well, now it's Christmas. Now it's really any. There's the big TV boxes. Everybody's got to get a bigger, better TV. And I'm just like, they're not going to be easier to get because they're not making them in the United States as much. Remember they used to have Zenith and Magnavox and all these people that made TVs right here in the good U.S. of old U.S. of A. But then they started selling stuff off to China. I was talking to Mr. Ishki today, and I was like, I only looked away for a second. When did America turn into China? When did we become? He's like, well, you know, we're gonna have to go to American made because, well, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we ain't real cool with China right now. See, they made some nasty stuff and they spread that around, and it's caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. And then the control freaks, they just love it. This is great for all the people that love staying at home, all the lazy slobs and stuff that don't want people to see how they really live anyway. I wonder how many people are emerging from this, the best version of themselves, you know, like the butterfly in the cocoon. I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of people freaking ate their feelings and hung out with people that they decided they don't really like, so they ate their feelings more, and they're not really... You know, the word is people are coming to Jesus more. That's the word on the street. You know, I hear people talking more about God in their talks. Marge, astrology, you know. I have Peace Dealer, he's doing his own thing. I haven't really seen much from him lately, but people are definitely incorporating that into their presence, and I have. You know, I definitely have. And, well, I don't know, I guess we'll see how the story unfolds. If people are really going to start living more from their spirit. Because if you get older, you're going to either be freaking dumb in your ego or dumb in your spirit. I've seen it too many times. That's like you have the dirty old man. Well, he was the freaking dumb, pervy freaking kid that, you know, when he was a kid. He just ended up that, you know. Or you have like, it's weird, I see it. I see... In old elders, I see them as children. I see people when I see them in all aspects. Like, I can hang out with somebody and then picture hanging out with them like when we were in high school or 5th grade or 6th, whatever year. I can picture people in past and present, you know. And I never think I'm always right because people always have free will and they're going to choose the course of direction. Sometimes you think people are going to zig and they zag. You know, so I never hold on. Oh, okay. You just fall out of more in alignment with people, or less with alignment with people. You know, the only reason why I think the people that identify with me like to listen to what I have to say is because, I don't know, they're so full spectrum, and I tap on all kinds of different stuff, all the different stuffs that they actually are too. So I'm just a reflection of whoever receives me on this channel. And if you go back and watch my older videos, you might think about where you were back when I was making that video and find alignment in there too. They're like little Easter eggs. They're like the fortune cookie of esotericness. Like, and an esoteric Sherlock Holmes. I'm one of those too, anyway.